We're talking 50 to 51% body fat.
Wow.
And some of these kids were 300, 350 pounds.
MacArthur, meet Eric Carlson.
I actually got into physical training to heal my body, and then once I got into it, I decided I want to help other people do the same. My style is going to be with these kids is getting into their head.
Reel in the ego if you're a typical guy, what I call the meathead disease.
They try to hit on me, and they lean on me, and they lick me.
Okay, all of you YouTubers, you keep asking when Eric Carlson is going to be back. Well, today he is back, and he's got a new reality show, Student Body, on the N Network. And later in the show, Mr. G will expose the biggest myths about self-defense, and actor-model John Antorino will tell you what it takes to look like the guy on the cover of the romance novel. Great to have you back again today, Eric.
Thank you, Greg. Thanks for having me. Thanks to all YouTubers out there.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like Rocky Girl in Canada, and actually,
Rocky Girl in Canada.
Knuckle Dude in Canada. Several people in Canada in the U.S. keep saying, when is he going to be back on? So here you are. Yes. You see him on the cover of the Lindbergh Nutrition Catalog here. Another photo of you. So what's this Student Body show on the N Network? What's going on with that?
Well, Student Body is a TV reality show where we took 12 obese 15 to 17-year-old kids, and we basically flip-flop their life around. We basically helped them lose weight, and the biggest thing we found at the show was it was a big emotional journey for all of them. So
it wasn't just about, so these were people, how overweight were they when we were saying obese? I mean, what
well, we're talking 50 to 51% body fat.
Wow.
And some of these kids were 300, 350 pounds. So some of these guys were carrying 150 pounds of fat on their body, literally carrying a whole nother person with them. And so, you know, it was quite a challenge to get them to do any type of physical
activity. And at what age are we talking?
15 to 17 years old.
15 to 17.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other story on this country, the fact that we have so many kids in that situation. But so what do you do with a 15-year-old who, how do you help them?
Well, first of all, for me, we had two different tactics. The other trainer was more like your military type of hardcore guy, and I was more of your kind of Zen guy, you know what I mean?
The more mellow.
Yeah,
you took them surfing. You took them surfing in Costa Rica.
Surfing and yoga, you know what I mean? I wanted them to understand that life could be different than they were perceiving, because I knew that that weight that they're carrying around was, the reason for that was because of what they're either hiding or they're feeling emotionally about life. And so,
well, you know, and it's tough enough for adults, but you know how kids are in high school or junior high, how mean, vicious people can be. So I'm sure that it must be real tough to be.
It was tough, yeah. Tough to be a teenager these days, you know what I mean? They look out in the world, they turn on their news, they see a very bleak world, you know what I mean? And I know differently that the world is getting better. There are things that are changing, but it's not perceived that way. And you know, in schools, it's tough to be a teenager. So
you're helping them make that change.
You know,
but so how do you change the perspective? I mean, because again, it's not just a matter of working out.
No.
You know that you can go in the. Well, I'm assuming though they weren't working out as part of the problem.
Zero activity. They weren't doing absolutely anything at all until we met, and now they're all on a strict regimen. They still work out. Talk to them all the time. But it was basically for me getting inside their heads. Each one of them was different. They all needed a different tactic. And what I did was I just kind of got to know who the person was, and I tried to find the root, or at least part of the reason why they were carrying all that weight around. You know, and that was my first and only goal.
Can you give us an example of what the root was?
Let's see. Like one of my girls, Rebecca. Okay, Rebecca Doyle. She had major issues with her dad, and which had major issues with her mom, and there was a separation in there. So when her dad left, she started eating and eating and eating and eating. It took me a while to figure this out with her, but once we figured it out, we were able to clean up the fighting that was happening on at home. Okay, because her and her mom fought every single day, all day long. So then I got her to help kind of, you know, uncover her feelings and emotions of what she was suppressing with all the food. And then once I got her to see differently, then she started treating her mom differently. She started treating herself differently. And then, you know, then each week when I'd see her, it was more of, hey, my mom and I aren't fighting anymore, you know, and I'm losing weight.
Now you were there for 4 months, right?
Yeah, we shot for almost like 22 days, the first segments, and then I would fly back here to LA. And I'd fly back in town every 6 to 10 days, train them, work with them, sit down with the families and do exercises.
You're from Decatur, right?
No.
Or no, you grew up in Illinois.
Yeah, I was born in Schaumburg, Illinois.
Okay, Schaumburg, outside Chicago.
Right outside Chicago. My family is originally from Chicago.
I see. Okay, okay.
And then shortly after, I think like I was in 2nd or 3rd grade, we moved to Texas. And I grew up most of my life in Texas, and then I've been out here for most of the rest of the part of that.
So you got to spend some time back in Illinois, though.
Yeah, and it was different. Illinois is a very different place, you know, and especially a small town like Decatur, Illinois. It was
downstate, as we say in Chicago.
Downstate, yeah. You know, the people down there really don't have anything but fast food restaurants and a couple bars.
Is that part of the problem?
Yeah, I mean, the kids, you look around, I'm a healthy guy, you know, and I try to find somewhere to eat there. I only had like 2 or 3 choices, you know, really to eat. And these were fine dining restaurants there. You know, other than that, there wasn't healthy food at all.
McDonald's is kind of a...
Yeah, you know, McDonald's is a staple down there. You know, and then with, you know, gas prices and the economy, people don't have the money to spend on, you know, fruits, vegetables. That was part of another issue dealing with the family. They're like, we can't afford good chicken, we can't afford good fish, you know, so we actually, you know, gave them a budget to do that. So.
And Layla Ali is the host of this?
Yeah, Layla Ali is the host of this, and what a nice lady. She was an absolute joy to work with. One, she was very supportive of all the kids, and then she was tough on all the kids when they really needed it. Yeah,
she is from American Gladiators, you know.
Yes, so, yeah. I'm happy to see her on that show because she deserves a really good career because she's a really great lady. Yeah,
So you enjoyed working with her?
Yeah, I really did. I mean, we got some really great talks about life and, you know, spirituality and what's our, you know, human potential and stuff like that. And we would take those kind of conversations and, you know, parlay that over into working with the kids, you know. So it was really, really nice to work with them.
Now, you aren't working with the kids as closely, right? But you still keep in touch with them, or?
Yeah, I talk to most all of my kids. I've only really lost contact with one of them who kind of gets back to me here and there. But other than that, I'm emailing and getting texts from the kids all the time. And a couple of them just graduated from high school. And they just can't wait. I mean, you got to imagine some of these kids were complete sedentary and, like I said, 49% body fat. Now, like, you know, one of them lost a lot of weight. I can't say.
No, I don't know how much you can tell me, but do they keep the weight off? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
do they really?
All of them has kept the weight off. One guy gained 9 pounds back because he went to a fast food restaurant and started working. He quit the job because he realized this is going to take me back down that same path. So he quit that job. But all of them are still doing exercise. All of them are still, you know, moving towards a better life for themselves. You know, they still got challenges and struggles, but you know, I think it helps that I'm in their ear still, going, "Come on, great day to get better." That was my line on the show. So I keep texting them, "Great day to get better. Do something to improve yourself."
Well, this sounds like a great thing for you, though, too. And if you don't mind my saying, you told me you got this off a Craigslist ad. Is that how you got this part?
Yeah. Warren Coulter from Icon Men sent me a Craigslist over for this show, and I said, "Well, that sounds exactly perfect for me." So.
And you got a response almost immediately, right?
Yeah, I think it was like same day or the very next morning that they're like, "Eric Carlson, we want you for the show." I was like, "Oh. Thank you." Especially when I found out more about what the show is going to be about.
Sure. And you said now you're building like a whole, seminars or workshops around this?
Yeah. I'm building some seminars and workshops. I'm going to have some teen-based kind of training camps. And it's going to be more of, you know, I still have the adult programs and stuff, but I'm not going to open it up to the children and the teens, you know, specifically because, you know, I remember how hard it was for me as a teen. And then after being with these kids, I see how much harder it really is to be a teen these days. And the joy I got from watching those kids change. You know, when one of those kids reaches over in tears in the last episode and grabs your hand and says, "I actually know what you've been talking about. I finally feel happy in my life. I feel it right now." And it was like, and just, you know.
And you've got your Fitness Bible coming out?
Fitness Models Bible. It's out. Ebook. And you can download it right now. Fitness Models Bible. And
I'll check that out.
Yeah, it covers everything about, you know, how to get in shape, be in shape, look good. It has a workout calendar in there, everything. So.
Well, Eric, great to have you back again.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully all the YouTubers are happy now.
Thank you, YouTubers.
And we'll look for you on Student Body on the N Network.
Yeah, thank you, Greg.
We'll be right back.
My legs feel so bad.
Just breathe into them. Just get some oxygen in there. Take a little sip of cool water. Cool the core down a little bit.
Seriously, please, I don't want to do this. I can't. I don't want to do it.
All right, okay, come on. There's no I can't ever in life. You can do anything you want. Listen, you can't run from things in life that are difficult. It's got to stop right here. You're going to be faced with challenges and obstacles your entire life. Okay? You've got to take control of your life.
And we are back. Joining me now is Mr. G from Max Impact Martial Arts in Pacific Palisades here in LA. Great to have you here today, Mr. G. So you're going to expose the top myths about self-defense for us, huh?
Absolutely.
Such as, well, I guess one of the main things is what people think it'll never happen to them.
That's the number one myth. A lot of people don't like talking about the, how can I put it, the bad situation that they would never want to have happen to themselves personally. So they ignore it. and they pretend nothing ever will happen to them that's going to be, you know, bad or a self-defense situation whatsoever. So the first thing we do is we talk to people and say, listen, we're not saying it is going to happen, but let's figure out how to minimize the chances of it happening instead of ignoring the possibility altogether.
So how do you do that? How do you minimize the chances?
Well, first of all, you got to figure out who it is exactly that you're talking to. If it's a teenage woman, for example, say 13, 14, or 15, right away I would say, hey, do you wear an iPod when you walk outside? You know, if the answer is yes, stop doing it. You know, do you talk on your cell phone when you walk to your car?
I think a lot of people somehow think they're protected if they're talking on a cell phone. Because I even think of a woman who unfortunately was abducted and killed in Minnesota, that student. She was talking on her cell phone to her boyfriend, and all of a sudden the line went dead, and then they found her body later, and it was just terrible to say. But you know, I think maybe people think somehow because they're on the phone that, like, you know, they can yell for help or something. But
well, let me ask you a question. When you're on your cell phone, anywhere, walking, how aware of you or are you of your surroundings?
Right, exactly. It's a distraction.
Absolutely.
But I think they think they're protected, but
Absolutely.
really you're just distracted.
Absolutely. A lot of people
and
think of a
don't
cell phone
even
almost
know
as like as a barrier,
Yeah.
as a personal barrier, personal protection device. It's not. It's not. It really isn't.
Or the iPod.
Or the iPod, exactly. The best thing to do is be very aware of what is going on around you at all times. You know, criminals who participate in violent, or who take part in violent crime, or who are just, you know, muggers, whatever, first thing they're looking for is someone who's distracted. That is the easiest target. So the first thing we do is avoid being a victim by, avoid being a target.
And there are other things you say too that maybe that can help you avoid being a target.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, most importantly, not to sound like a broken record, but being really, really aware of your surroundings. Secondly, avoid carrying things on you that are really, really visible that will make an attacker, or a mugger, I should say, or any type of criminal say, hey, that's who I'm going to go after, if that makes sense.
Now, what do you, I know you work a lot with women and with kids, but, you know, as a guy, you know, well, first of all, I don't wear watches or jewelry or anything, but for women, I mean, what do you tell them about, you know, with purse and jewelry and stuff? Do you tell them not to wear that, or what do you say about that?
You know,
kind of
I
stuff?
try to avoid saying to a woman, hey, don't do this, don't do that. I mean, clothing and jewelry, it's a personal expression, and who am I to say, hey, don't do that? I don't want someone to be afraid or paranoid to do what they want to do. What I do say is, now look, if you're wearing this kind of jewelry, and you're going to a not great area of town, and your car is parked in an area where you're going to have to walk a long time, I mean, most crimes take place in what's called an area of transition, you know, going from your building to your car, then be aware of what the possibilities are. That's pretty much it.
Now, do most people come to you after something has happened or before something happens?
Here's the funny thing. With men, it's in paranoia in anticipation of something happening. With women, unfortunately, it's usually something has happened, and then they come to me.
And what kind of things? Well, for instance, you mentioned one of the usually it's in an area of transition when people get attacked. For instance, say like walking from the grocery store to your car or
Absolutely.
something.
Or from your car to your house.
So that kind of, and is that what you usually see if a woman comes in and something
Absolutely. Well,
along
it's
that
either
line?
it's either an attack from in an area of transition, or some trust was violated. You know, they met some guy, and remember, most people who commit a sexual assault are at least somehow known by the intended target.
Right.
Whether it was someone they knew very well or just kind of a casual acquaintance, they still had an idea of who this person was. It's not this crazy, dangerous-looking stranger that most people have this idea is who's going to be attacking you.
I'm glad you mentioned the guy side because, you know, I think again, well, you and I should say you're what, 260 pounds
Right.
and
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
6 foot 1 or
6'3",
something.
yeah.
You know, big guy, 6'3", okay. And you know, some guys think, oh, you know, they're going to get ready for battle or war, but you say a lot of times the best thing is to what, just walk away or avoid the situation.
Absolutely.
It's not.
Absolutely. There's so many things that could go wrong if you get into a confrontation or a physical altercation. There are so many things that can go wrong. The best scenario that people think of is that they come out on top physically. Well, the problem is that rarely happens where you come out unscathed. You're going to get hurt. The person's going to be angry with you or maybe pay back. Who knows? You've got a civil lawsuit coming at you. Who knows if the police are involved? The best bet is to always, you know, reel in the ego if you're a typical guy, what I call the meathead disease. Really reel it in and just think, hey, the best thing is for me to get home safely.
And in fact, you say, you know, people forget it. Not even just get away, but you say sometimes the best self-defense is to run.
Absolutely.
Which people don't.
Absolutely. You know,
Doesn't sound very macho, but sometimes the best thing
it's
is
not.
to,
You know, and thanks to television and movies, and you know, I'm the biggest fan too. But this whole idea that you're going to karate chop someone or kick someone or hit them once and they drop is such a fallacy. The best thing you can do is not be in the situation, and then, you know, the most underrated self-defense technique is being in great shape so you can run out of there as quickly as you can while making a lot of noise and drawing attention to yourself.
I'm thinking you probably don't have too many problems in this respect. You're not.
Yeah, but with that being said, the reason why is because I do my best. I use what's called self-protection. You know, self-defense is, you know, knowing the techniques to use if you do get into that situation. Self-protection is doing everything you can to not get into a self-defense situation.
Sure.
I practice self-protection every day. In other words, I minimize the chances of something bad happening to me. It's not guaranteed. I've been in some bad situations, but I do my best to stay away from it. And sure, my size helps a lot. Absolutely. Because if someone sees me and they say, hey, you know, he's got maybe some money or whatever, he's driving a nice car, well, the fact that I'm a bigger guy, you know, provides or causes the person to think, well, that's a risk. I don't want to take that risk. Does that make sense?
Sure.
But it doesn't make me bulletproof against that.
Well, and that's the thing too. Sometimes people think, oh, I'll just carry a gun or, you know, pepper spray or mace or whatever. But you say that that's even not always the.
Yeah, you know, the problem, you know, and that's another one of the myths. I talk to some people and just in passing say, well, I don't need any self-protection training. I don't need self-defense training because, you know, I have pepper spray in my car. Or I'll put, this is my favorite one.
Gun.
Yeah, I got the gun, right, exactly, right? Yeah, we've had this discussion. Or people say, hey, I'll put keys in the middle of my hand and I'll just scrape them and punch them. First question I ask, especially with the keys, is that, hey, have you ever done that before? Have you ever practiced that? No? Oh, okay, so you're thinking you're going to be able to pull it off when the heat's on. Secondly, with pepper spray, you know, for example, people don't know, you know, hey, don't keep it in your car, especially in Los Angeles. When your car overheats, when I think it's when the interior heat, you know, passes, your car passes, or temperature 120 degrees or so, guess what happens to pepper spray? You know, it stops working properly. So imagine all of a sudden you get it and you need it, it's not working.
And in some cases too, especially with guns, you always think of this at home, but it could possibly be used against you, or even the pepper spray if the other person gets it. Or
the biggest problem with guns is that you have to make a split decision that's morally based. Right, so you know, people say when I show gun disarms, I really explain all the psychology behind it. The most common question or statement I get after someone says, oh, I've got the gun, you know what I'm doing? I'm going to shoot him, or I'll shoot him in the leg. First of all, good luck with that. Secondly, I say, have you ever shot a gun before? Most of the time, the answer is no.
Right.
So I said, hey, toss the gun somewhere where you can't use it. You know, and thirdly, let's say you do know how to use the gun, you know it's loaded, you know it works. Are you ready to kill someone?
Well, we're running short on time, but one thing also I thought was interesting, since you run a martial arts academy, you say sometimes maybe even that may not be the best. It's the ancient arts may not be.
Absolutely.
Street fighting
Absolutely.
ready?
Absolutely. You know, I run into a lot of martial arts instructors, grandmasters, if you will, and listen, I love what they do. It's fantastic. It's not necessarily self-defense. I've never been attacked by a board. I don't get attacked by, or I don't even see armored samurai on horseback. And the reason why that's funny is because this is a lot of the techniques that are shown in martial arts schools are for those situations that took place, you know, thousands of miles away, hundreds of years ago. You know, we need contemporary self-defense.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. G, for being here. I sure appreciate it. We'll be right back. And we are back. Joining me now is actor and model John Antorino from New Jersey. Great to have you here today, John.
Thanks for having me.
And as I say, you can see him here on the cover of the romance novel. You know, I must admit I don't read these, but sometimes you see him in the store or something walking through, and there's like, so you're the guy on the cover.
Yeah, I've been doing that for the past year now, doing covers. Yeah,
You've done several of them, right?
Yes, it's very popular, by the way. People don't realize it. They think it's just for old ladies. It's for
So people are still reading them?
Big time. There's a huge following with the romance.
When I grew up, the reason I say I don't read them, my sister was a huge Harlequin romance fan, and we'd always harass her about the Harlequin romance. She'd have like stacks of them in her bedroom. But so they're still around. They're still kicking.
And there's a huge following, too. I mean, there's a huge fan base. I have a huge fan base now.
So do people recognize you and
stuff?
And
Yeah,
say, hey,
absolutely. Absolutely. And I have, you know, they made a fan website for me and fan club, and I do book signings.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's pretty neat. It's pretty cool.
And we've also got a photo of you here from Men's Workout.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat article. It's about my family roots. We're all into working out and fitness. My uncle was a pro bodybuilder. My mother used to compete. She still works out daily.
Yeah, no, that was unusual, or not, you know, or just you don't hear that very often. Your mother was competitive.
Yes, absolutely, and she's, I don't want to say her age, but she's in her 50s and she still works out daily. She looks great. She's beautiful.
Great shape.
Yeah, she used to compete. I have a twin sister. She works out every day. My uncles, everyone. We used to own gyms. Oh yeah, so it's in my blood for sure.
And your uncle was Mike Antorino?
Mike Antorino. He was a pro bodybuilder in the 80s. Absolutely, he was great. He won Mr. America. He won the Mr. Universe title. So yeah, he was phenomenal. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of following his footsteps. You know, working out and doing magazines. He was in tons of magazines. So yeah.
Sure. And now I know, like a lot of the fitness models, but you're transitioning into the acting now. You're doing more of that. So.
I transitioned about 4 years ago, and now it's finally, everything's coming together. I'm getting TV parts, movie parts, commercials, so it's been great, yeah.
Now, I know you told me you have a part coming up on CSI Miami that you have.
Yeah, we start filming that in 2 weeks. I'm going to play a friend of mine on the show. He murders a girl that we meet at a party, and I get interrogated. You know how they interrogate you, heavily in the show. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to that.
You're going to fight back?
I actually give in.
You fess up.
Well, I fess up because the evidence is there. CSI Miami, they have all the evidence there. So yeah.
Now, you were also in the big hit movie from one of the hit movies from the summer, Sex and the City, sort of. I know you have a story about that. You want to tell us about
what
that?
A mess! It's so sad. The industry is really typical in the industry. They edit heavily. They edit, the movies and TV shows big time. So I filmed 2 days on the set of Sex and the City, the movie, and I initially got casted to be a male model on the show. They had a fashion show scene, and I got cast to be a male model.
You could have been the guy in the shower.
I know, I wish. So anyway, I get to the set, and they changed everything. They did a rewrite, and they cut out all male models. There were no male models in the fashion show scene. So it was 4 female models in the fashion show scene. They cut me out of that, but they ended up giving me another part, which was my publicist in the show introduced me to the girls, and Kim Cattrall finds me attractive, and she starts talking to me. And that was one scene. We filmed a whole day for that, 13 hours. The next day, they changed the scene. I had a scene with a guy with a dog. It's real trendy. You bring a dog. These guys, they bring dogs. Girls bring dogs to fashion shows and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah,
and I had an argument with a guy. I go to pet his dog, and he has a fit. Well, I went to go see the movie, thinking I'm going to be somewhere in the movie, because I worked 2 days on the set, and they edited it out completely. The fashion show scene is only seconds long. So it's like, I went to see the movie, and it's not there. So.
And you said you took friends or family or something, and then they're
yeah,
not,
it's sad, but it's typical. It's common. It really is. I mean, they edit, and they edit. So.
But you got to meet Kim Cattrall and everybody, or
I met them. Oh yeah, we had breaks together. We worked together. We talked. They're fun, down to earth. They're human beings like us, and yeah, it was cool. It was a really neat experience. So yeah.
And you did something for Lipstick Jungle with.
I was on that in February. Lipstick Jungle. Yeah, I had a pretty neat little scene on that, and it was cool. I worked with her for 18 hours till the wee hours of the morning. So yeah, she's a real nice person. She's been in this business a long time. So I picked her brain about things, and we had breaks together also. So yeah, it was pretty neat, unique experience. Yeah, for sure.
And what about Comedy Central? You're playing Igor.
Igor, what a character name, right?
Yeah, because there's that movie coming out with the name Igor.
It's so funny because when I got the script for it, I said Igor. I don't look like an Igor, but it's a comedy, so that's why. It's about 4 female comedians. They're very popular comedians. I didn't know who they were. I still don't really know who they are, but I worked with them. And it's a comedy, and I play this muscular guy in the office, suit and tie guy, and I'm like kind of shy, and I go sit in the office, and they try to hit on me, and they lean on me, and they lick me and stuff, and I'm like, no, which is totally not me at all. It's not my, it's
almost sounds like Sex and the City again.
I'm definitely playing a different part there, and then my character name is Igor, so it's just a goofy comedy. That's coming out in September.
And now, because you're doing the acting and you're obviously into fitness, you told me you actually had to trim down some.
I lost 40 pounds.
40 pounds.
I've been on this diet for a year and a half now.
You're what, 6'1"?
I'm 6 foot.
6 foot, okay.
I weigh 205 now.
205.
And before I was around 240, around that range, and it was just too much. It was too big.
And do you hear, a lot of people tell me, they tell you that it limits your roles.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I was getting auditions for like football player roles and bouncer roles, and I want to be more than that. To me, I can offer more than that to the acting.
So you can actually be in too good of shape.
Yeah. I was too big. I was just too big. 240 was just too much, and for me to carry that weight around was just too much. I was eating 6,000 calories a day. Now I'm eating 2,500, 3,000. I do double
So you
sessions.
even prefer it yourself, just as an easier kind of life?
I do, because I feel better. I can breathe better now. Before at 240 was just too much. It was
real? Did you seriously have problems breathing?
I was just too big. It was too much muscle to carry around on my frame. And I like to eat clean. I'm eating good now. I do cardio in the morning, and then I do my weight training in the afternoon. So it's a whole lifestyle change for me. Before I wasn't really doing much cardio. I ate clean, but it was like fairly clean. Now I eat clean all the time.
Well, since I told him at the beginning we were going to tell him what it takes to look like the guy on the cover of the romance novel, what is your workout routine like?
Okay, so I go to the gym at 6 a.m. in the morning.
6 a.m.
Yeah, 6 a.m.
You lost me already there.
I get up I don't have any breakfast, anything. I take some vitamins, some pills, and I go do my cardio on an empty stomach.
Empty stomach.
Yeah, so you get the maximum fat burning effect from that. Then I
So
go,
you do the cardio before the workout. A lot of cardio or a little cardio?
it varies. It goes anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. Depends. I have
Before
different
the
days.
workout?
Well, my workout, I do double sessions. So my workout, my weight training is in the afternoon.
I see.
I go back at 4 o'clock, so I get some meals in me, so I'm a little bit stronger while I do my weights. When I do my cardio, I'm so used to it now. I've been on this regimen for a year and a half. So I have no problem going in on an empty stomach and doing my cardio. Most people say, wow, my God, how can you do that? I pass out. Well, I'm used to it. So.
And how many days a week do you work out?
I work out almost every day.
Almost every
I listen
day.
to my body, though. Sometimes on a Sunday, I'll take off and just rest. But I do something almost every day.
And is it, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours?
Yeah,
or
my cardio sessions typically go 30 minutes to an hour. And then I also do my ab routine as well in that same session. Then I go back around 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I do my weight training.
All right.
So.
Well, thank you very much for being here today,
Thank
John.
you.
We'll look for you on Comedy Central.
Comedy
Igor.
Central, and then I have another movie coming out called Ice Grill USA. It'll be out in the fall. And I have a part on that called, my character name is Meathead's Team Captain. So you'll have to check it out.
Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.